Stop overthinking. Start living. A gentle guide for embracing peace, clarity, and the joy of being present. Introduction. The weight we carry in our minds. There's a quiet kind of suffering that many of us carry. So quiet, it rarely shows on the jasam outside. It's the constant chatter of the mind, the questions that never seem to have answers, the regrets that play on repeat, the what-ifs and should-haves that keep us awake in the stillness of the night. It's called overthinking. And for many, it's not just a habit. It becomes a way of life. Perhaps it began with good intentions, a desire to be careful, thoughtful, responsible. But over time, that same instinct can turn into a burden. The mind tries to solve everything at once, worries about the future, replays the past, and leaves little room for peace in the present. This journey we're about to take together isn't about denying thoughts or pretending life is simple. It's about learning how to stop being ruled by the noise in our heads and start reclaiming the beauty of simply being alive. Especially in this stage of life, your 60s, 70s, or beyond, it's time. Time to release what no longer serves you. Time to stop carrying the weight of overthinking. Time to start living fully and freely. Let's begin. Part 1. Understanding the nature of overthinking. It's not your fault. Overthinking often feels like we're doing something useful. We believe we're preparing, protecting ourselves, or trying to make the best decisions. But more often than not, we're just circling the same thoughts over and over without getting anywhere. First, let's be clear. Overthinking is not a personal flaw. It's a deeply human tendency. Our brains are designed to solve problems. But in a world filled with too much information, too many choices, and constant stimulation, the brain gets overloaded. Especially as we age, we carry years, decades of memories, experiences, responsibilities. That's a lot for one mind to hold. If you find yourself overthinking often, there's no shame in that. It means your mind is active, sensitive, and perhaps still trying to control what it cannot. But we don't need to stay stuck there. The signs. You're overthinking. Overthinking doesn't always look like worry. Sometimes it feels like being stuck in indecision, or rehashing conversations from years ago, or imagining worst-case scenarios, or needing everything to be perfect before you make a move. You might recognize yourself in one of these. You replay past mistakes, wondering how things could have gone differently. You have trouble falling asleep because your mind won't quiet down. You delay decisions, big or small, for fear of choosing wrong. You imagine conversations that haven't happened yet. You worry about what others might be thinking about you. You often feel mentally exhausted, even when nothing happened that day. If these sound familiar, you're not alone. And more importantly, you can change this. Part 2. The cost of overthinking and what it steals from us. Overthinking takes up space in our minds, and that space comes at a cost. The price. We pay when we overthink. We miss the moment we're in. We're so caught up in analyzing yesterday or predicting tomorrow that we don't notice the sunshine on the window, the quiet rhythm of our breathing, or the kind face of someone sitting nearby. Here are some of the real costs of overthinking. Lost time that can never be reclaimed, emotional exhaustion and increased stress, strained relationships due to unnecessary assumptions, missed opportunities because of delayed action, a constant sense of unease or dissatisfaction. The illusion of control. A big reason we overthink is because we want to feel in control. We believe that if we can just think hard enough, we can prevent mistakes, avoid pain, or figure out the perfect outcome. But life doesn't work that way. We can prepare. We can plan. But we cannot control everything. And the more we try, the more we suffer. Ironically, the moment we accept that we can't control it all is the moment we begin to feel free. Part 3. the path to simplicity and peace through. Slowing down. The first step in overcoming overthinking is learning how to slow down the mind. Not stop it, that's impossible. But we can quiet it. Here are some practices that help. Mindful breathing. Take 3 slow breaths, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Focus only on the breath. Repeat as needed. Walking in nature. Let your feet lead, and your thoughts follow the rhythm of movement. Listening to calming music. Something soft, instrumental, or nostalgic can shift your mental state. Doing something with your hands. Gardening, knitting, drawing, or cooking can bring your focus back to the moment. Trusting yourself, again. Overthinking often means we've stopped trusting ourselves. We doubt our choices, our memories, our instincts. But you've lived long enough to know more than you give yourself credit for. Try this. The next time you face a small decision, make it quickly and let it be. Reflect on times when things worked out without you planning every detail. Remind yourself that you've handled hard things before. You can again. Trust grows with practice. Letting go of the unanswerable. Some questions have no satisfying answer. Why did that happen to me? What would life be like if I had chosen differently? What do people think about me? Let them go. Not because they don't matter, but because they will never give you peace. You can acknowledge them and release them. Your energy is better spent on what you can influence, your actions today. Part 3. The path to simplicity and peace. Slowing down the mind. The first step in overcoming overthinking is learning how to slow down the mind. Not stop it, that's impossible. But we can quiet it. Here are some practices that help. Mindful breathing. Take 3 slow breaths, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Focus only on the breath. Repeat as needed. Walking in nature. Let your feet lead and your thoughts follow. The rhythm of movement. Listening to calming music. Something soft, instrumental, or nostalgic can shift your mental state. Doing something with your hands. Gardening, knitting, drawing, or cooking can bring your focus back to the moment. Trusting. Yourself again. Overthinking often means we've stopped trusting ourselves. We doubt our choices, our memories, our instincts. But you've lived long enough to know more than you give yourself credit for. Try this. The next time you face a small decision, make it quickly and let it be. Reflect on times when things worked out without you planning every detail. Remind yourself that you've handled hard things before. You can again. Trust grows with practice. Letting go of the unanswerable. Some questions have no satisfying answer. Why did that happen to me? What would life be like if I had chosen differently? What do people think about me? Let them go. Not because they don't matter, but because they will never give you peace. You can acknowledge them and release them. Your energy is better spent on what you can influence, your actions today. Part 4. Reclaiming the present moment. Why the present is enough. We live so much of our lives either looking back or looking ahead. But the present moment is the only place where life actually happens. This moment, the breath you're taking right now, the feeling of your feet on the floor, the light through the window, is real. Everything else is memory or imagination. You don't need to have everything figured out to enjoy this moment. You don't need a perfect life to be grateful for what you have. When you return to the now, you return to peace. Building simple mindfulness habits. You don't have to become a meditation expert to be more present. Here are small daily practices that make a difference. Savor your morning tea or coffee. Take it slowly. Notice the aroma, the warmth, the first sip. Look out the window for 2 minutes. Just observe. No analysis. No goals. Speak to someone with your full attention. Put aside distractions and really listen. End the day with a moment of stillness. Sit quietly for a few minutes before bed, simply breathing. These little acts, done regularly, can help you escape the storm of thoughts and return home to yourself. Letting life be good enough. Sometimes overthinking is fueled by the belief that life should be more, that we should be more. But what if what you have right now is enough? You don't need to have the perfect answer. You don't need to do more, be more, or solve every question. You just need to live, gently, honestly, and with gratitude. You've made it this far. That alone is a miracle worth honoring. Part 5. Living lightly, loving deeply. The beauty of letting go. By now you've begun to see that overthinking is not a problem to solve, but a habit to unlearn. And one of the most powerful ways to unlearn it is by letting go, gently, intentionally, and without fear. Let go of the belief that you must figure everything out. Let go of needing others to understand you perfectly. Let go of the pressure to be anything more than who you are. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means making room for joy, for spontaneity, for moments of wonder. Embracing a lighter way of being. You've carried so much throughout your life, responsibilities, burdens, concerns. And now in this precious season of life, you're allowed to live more lightly. Living lightly means laughing more, even at yourself, speaking kindly to yourself and others, choosing what nourishes your spirit over what impresses others, letting silence be comfortable, being content with slow mornings and unscheduled afternoons. There's deep wisdom in simplicity, and sometimes the most profound peace comes from doing less, needing less, and simply being. Loving. Without overthinking, overthinking often gets in the way of love. We worry about saying the right thing, doing the right thing, or being misunderstood. But love, in its truest form, doesn't demand perfection. You can love more freely when you stop analyzing every word you say to a loved one, forgive quickly and often, including yourself, express appreciation out loud and often, allow others to be imperfect. Just as you allow yourself to be, don't wait for the perfect moment to say, I love you, I'm proud of you, or I'm here for you. Love doesn't live in the perfect moment. It lives in the real one. Finding joy in small, ordinary things. When your mind is no longer crowded with worry, something beautiful begins to happen. You start to notice the little things again. The gentle rustle of leaves in the breeze, the feel of warm socks on a cool morning, the familiar scent of home, the smile of a neighbor or the sound of birds in the morning. Joy isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers. But to hear it, your mind must be quiet enough to listen. Each day holds a dozen unnoticed gifts. The more you live in the present, the more you'll recognize them. Creating a life that feels like home. In the end, that's what this is about. Creating a life that feels like home, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. A life that supports you, comforts you, and makes you feel at peace. This doesn't require big changes. It begins with small choices. Surrounding yourself with people who nourish, not drain. You saying no to things that exhaust your soul. Saying yes to things that make you feel alive. Letting your days reflect your values, not your fears. Your best life isn't out there somewhere. It's within you. And it begins the moment you stop overthinking and start living. Part 6. Quiet confidence and the wisdom years. The power of inner stillness. In our younger years, confidence often looks like noise, strong opinions, bold actions, and proving ourselves to the world. But with age comes a deeper, quieter kind of confidence, one rooted not in what we do, but in who we are. This quiet confidence doesn't seek attention. It doesn't need to win arguments or gather praise. It simply knows that you have nothing to prove, that peace is more valuable than pride, that stillness is a strength, not a weakness. Your inner stillness is a well you can return to again and again. It's where wisdom lives, it's where clarity rises, and it's where the noise of overthinking fades away. Listening to the wisdom. Within after decades of living, you've gathered insight, perspective, and truth. But sometimes that wisdom gets buried beneath self-doubt, or the belief that your voice no longer matters. It does. It always has. The world often rushes past the voices of elders. But those who pause to listen, to truly listen, find treasures. Not just in what you say, but in how you live. So listen to yourself. Trust the hunches that come from experience. Follow the values that have stood the test of time. Let your decisions reflect not fear, but what you've learned about what really matters. 6.3. Slowing down. Without guilt, in a culture that idolizes productivity and speed, slowing down can feel like falling behind. But here's the truth. You've earned the right to rest, to move through your days with intention, not urgency. Slowing down doesn't mean stopping. It means savoring. Savor your meals, your walks, your conversations. Sit on the porch and watch the day change. Write letters, not just texts. Allow room for silence without needing to fill it. There is joy in unhurried living. And in that space, overthinking loses its grip. 4. To sharing your light. When you stop overthinking, your energy shifts. You become more present, more open, more able to offer the best of yourself, not because you have to, but because it feels right. And the world needs what you've gathered. Your stories, your patience, your humor, your compassion. You don't need to be loud to be impactful. Your calm presence may be the very thing someone else needs today. Living the questions, not demanding the answers. There are questions in life that won't be answered on this side of time, and that's okay. The goal is not to solve every mystery, but to walk with grace despite them. Rainer Maria Rilke wrote, "Be patient toward all that is unsolved in your heart, and try to love the questions themselves." Let your life be that kind of quiet poem, open to wonder, willing to wait, filled with faith that each day brings enough. This is your time, not to rush, not to prove, but to live with the quiet confidence that you are enough.